Hello, everyone. See if anybody starts coming in. Uh,
Dum, 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 dum.
hey, Kaz. Hey, Jimmy.
Oh,
How's your turn?
So,
why?
it'll take everybody a minute to get the notification. But just starting this off, this is a young mother from town, and it's the same school that is giving the other kid that I've been covering problems. So, the district is the same, the superintendent is the same, the school building and the teachers associated are different. And this little guy has been going through so much bullying that it's really affecting his self esteem. It's affecting his behavior, which are both, expected with something that is going on like this.
What?
So she's going to tell his story and be his voice. And then he is very vocal about stuff like this, so he will have a chance to um, talk as well during this live stream. So if you want to go ahead and just start, like back at the very beginning, like enrolling him in school.
Um, so much stuff has happened. I can't remember.
It doesn't have to be just in order. Just things that the type of the bullying that he's been going through, and we are going to be referring to him as Little Dino, for his own privacy. But just yeah, anything like the type of the bullying that he has went through, the different types of teachers that he has told, be it the cafeteria or music or whatever, and like who all you have talked to so far, and just basic info.
Okay. He started getting hit, kicked, toys snatched away, etc. in this classroom. Um, we told the teacher at the very first parent teacher conference, which was like the first 9 weeks, and she didn't do anything about it. The bullying got worse where they were stomping on his foot, uh, punching him in with his backpack on. Um, I think he smashed his finger in the door one day. Um, and then they had Christmas break. Well, it hasn't stopped. And February 6th, we had uh, another meeting that I requested because she wasn't going to give me one. And we talked about it. And when I told her, she said, I honestly don't remember you telling me anything about him getting bullied. So I corrected her and I told her that it's been going on for almost a whole school year now. And after I left her classroom, I went and talked to the counselor, and the counselor said, give me a chance to take care of this. We'll settle this. Well, the following day, she called me and said she talked to the kid and that there wasn't going to be any more problems. Well, Wednesday through Friday, nothing happened. But that following Monday, it started again. Um, what was it?
He told me he never not playing with me.
Um, he's called him stupid. Um, started saying stuff like your mama don't want you. Um, so I reached out to the superintendent And instead of the superintendent calling me like a responsible person should have, he went straight to the principal, and the principal called me in, and we were talking, and she said, Bentley is, uh, what was it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that phrase.
Oh, about
He,
uh, he's just a kindergartner. He doesn't know what bullying is.
yeah. He is 7. He's pretty smart. Um, she just kept ranting on about how kindergartners don't really know what they're talking about. Um, that they learn through social uh, and play. So I looked at her and I said, so if my kid comes and gives the other kid a black eye, or punches him, or gives him a bloody nose, knocks his teeth out, etc., that's going to be considered social play, and my kid better not get in trouble. And she told me that we don't promote physical bullying, that they're monitoring the situation, they're trying to take care of it. But in my opinion, if they were doing something about it, wouldn't it have stopped last semester?
If they were doing something about it, it wouldn't have started at all. Because I've looked through the bullying papers, which is the same thing that I had printed off and given to you, and they do have um, like anti-bullying policies. Like it's written up and it's public. But the thing that I'm noticing with this school is number one, they're not taking it serious like they should. And number two, they do not even implement their own plans that they have written up for their own situations. Like they uh they say that they do this and this and this, but it's literally like pulling teeth in order to get them to actually do what their plans say. And the superintendent that called the principal is the same superintendent that called the mother for the other one that was being bullied that I recently covered. So this principal is very aware, or the superintendent is very aware of the bullying situations going on. Hey, Cass. Hey, Jimmy. So it's a different school building and different teachers, but the policy is the same, and the superintendent and the school board is the same.
They want me to literally email every teacher that he has, like the music teacher, PE teacher, his homeroom teacher. Um, Anytime anything happens, well, one, I don't have all of their email and they refuse to give it to me. And sometimes I feel like his teacher's lying to me. But today,
Yes.
uh, on the school playground, this kid comes up and punches him in the stomach twice. And little Dino went and told the playground teacher, and they didn't do anything about it. So my son called this kid over and punched him back in the stomach twice.
Good for him.
I mean,
I think he
I'm
deserves a pizza party.
uh I don't want to be that mom that makes your kid fight back, but I also want him to protect himself. And I've told him, if they hit first, you finish it. If you
Well,
get in trouble with the school,
didn't you get called to the principal's office one day because somebody had heard you tell him, if you get hit first, hit back?
yeah. We were. It was probably like the beginning of the second 9 weeks in the very first semester. He kept getting bullied, and they have the school pretty much locked down where you can't go in. You have to push this button and tell them, hi, I need to pick my kid up for a dentist appointment, whatever. Or if you have to drop something off, you have to leave it outside and then they'll come and get it. So there's no way getting in and talking to any of the teachers. And someone was in front of me, and I was telling Bentley, I was like, you know what? Just hit them back. If they hit you first, hit them back. I was like, I'm to the point. I don't care. I'll rock that orange jumpsuit. Watch. And they went up to the principal, and the principal called me and said, well, we don't promote physical bullying. And I just said, okay, then do something about it.
Exactly.
And
I mean, even on this channel, like, we do not promote violence of any type, but there is a difference in standing up for yourself. And you have went through the steps of talking to the teacher, talking to the counselor, talking to the principal, now notifying the superintendent. And that baby is at school literally on his own, because these teachers aren't stepping up and being teachers. So if it comes down to it, then yes, he has every right to hit back. And that's not promoting violence. That's promoting self-safety.
I honestly feel like the superintendent reached out to the principal, and she reached out to me just to cover their asses.
Oh, they do that. You see, because with the other child, I think we was calling her like sweetheart or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, when we had reached out to the superintendent, it was like around 3:30 that evening, and we gave him until 2 p.m. the next day to literally stop the bullshit that was happening. And he called her mom at like 8 or 8:30 that night, and then the principal had called the next day and set up a meeting for 2 p.m. And the only reason they did that was because we had threatened to get like a protective order or legally hold the school responsible. But hers, I'm not saying this to like down, the stuff that's happening with yours, but hers was with sexual violence and stuff. So it took it to a whole nother level that could have literally held the school and more account. So the superintendent was all over that. But from what I've seen and what I've heard, it doesn't seem like he even cares, because it is simply just a kindergartner. It's like the same superintendent has two different sides to him. Exactly, Kaz. Defending yourself is not promoting violence. And this little boy, he is very capable of defending himself. He really is. Like, his dad is a firefighter. They have told this kid, from day one, he's got to protect his sisters. Just the normal everyday thing that parents tells their little boys. Protect your sisters, and you're the man of the house if I'm not home, kind of thing. Helping boost the ego and the self-esteem and stuff like that. And this child he's not huge, but he's not small either. So defending himself, he is very capable of doing and has been very capable of doing. But he has also refrained from hurting the other child, even though he's been being hit and kicked and stuff. He has not laid a hand on that child until this time that he punched him back. So that shows that this kid has a very good head on his shoulders.
He got the approval for mom and dad to fight back. I've told him, if
he's had that approval for a long time though, and he still hasn't done it. Like he
Yeah.
tries to make peace. Like he's going to be one of these that's holding up signs saying peace for the world, because he will not relate himself to, violence of any kind. So he made a major milestone when he finally hit back. So what is your next step? I mean, I know that you're going to be doing the homeschooling next year for all of the kids, because they're not only going to lose the one kid, they're going to lose four out of that school system.
Um, I don't really know what to do. I mean, I've heard a couple people tell me I could file up a lawsuit or something, but that stuff gets expensive.
Yeah, it does, but I know how to file the paperwork and um, do all the stuff in the court system where you wouldn't have to go through a lawyer. We may have to contact a lawyer to see about, like, exactly what all we can bring against them. But as far as going to court and stuff like that, I would 100% be on board with going in and representing to get all the papers and stuff filed. Um, One thing I do suggest, though, is going to the DA, or actually, you don't even have to. I found it online that I can print off, um, to bring a protective order against the other child. And yes, they're only in kindergarten, and it probably sounds crazy, but you can get a protective order against a minor on behalf of him. So, in a little bit, when I get my ink delivered to me, I'm
Look, me was falling.
all the little ones.
Me was also falling.
But
Go play.
I will help you fill out those papers and stuff like that to get a protective order set in place for the remaining of the school year.
Go. Oh.
See, that's one thing that we don't really have here, Sarah. When I was going through all the stuff with that other kid, we was looking for, and even with her being on the Social Security disability and stuff, like, I wasn't even able to find an advocate for her with all of her issues. So having somebody be an advocate for within the school and stuff like that, it's something that we do not have here, which is part of why I've been doing all of this to give them voices and stuff. And I have went to the schools and stuff on other kids that I haven't just put on a live stream. But we do have the CASA program here. But when I talk to them, they only work with, like, kids that's in foster systems and stuff like that. And the guy that I spoke to said that he was going to talk to his administrator or something like that and see if they could, like, open up another section of what they do there, just to help families. So I'm working on trying to get some type of advocacy set up here. Sarah, if you can send me that information on, like, the name of the grant and stuff. I don't want you posting it here because that's your um personal stuff. But I'm posting my email. If you can send me the name of that grant or any information, pertaining to that, I would be more than happy to help the parents around here. Hey, Alice. But yeah, okay, there's that email. If you can, whenever you have a chance, just kind of send me a little bit of that info because we need more things available for parents. We really do. And the way that the super, hey, fun room, good to have you here. Yeah, the difference between America and the stuff with Canada is America sucks. You know, when I was doing my last live for the other child that was being bullied, one of my subscribers come in and was literally talking about a college shooting that was going on at that time. And my first thought was, how many times had that person been bullied and nobody do anything about it? I'm not saying that I agree with him going in and shooting up a place. Like, no, that's wrong. But there is always that underlying issue of being bullied and it not being stopped. And we can see that this crap starts in kindergarten and teachers don't take it serious.
Since he's been going through this, his behavior has changed. Every morning he wakes up kicking and screaming, begging not to go to school, saying, "Mama, can I just stay home for one day?" Um, the other day we went somewhere and I have a SUV that has third row, and I make the older two take turns sitting by the baby. That way everyone has a chance in the second row. And it was sister's turn, and he was not happy about that. He literally reached over and started pulling her hair and hitting her. So I pushed him back and I said, "Bentley, what is wrong with you?" And he said, "It's not fair." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "You gotta smell the roses and blow out the candles." And he did that 5 times. And I was like, "Okay, what is going on with you? You don't ever act like this." And he said, "Well, this is what that kid does to me." And I was like, "Okay." So it's really taken a toll on him. And I, as a parent, personally feel like I'm failing my kid because the school won't get their shit together.
Well, first off, you're not failing your kid because you are doing everything in your power and you're bringing in other people, you're bringing awareness to it. You're not failing him in any way. And that's exactly what happens. Somebody is bullied so much that they kind of, even if they don't know that they're doing it, they mirror what they are having done to them. And that's how a lot of the crimes are committed later in life. They they just resort back to doing what is familiar to them. And he's literally seeing this other kid get away with doing this stuff to him, and he's going to have that little mind frame that it's okay to do it. And it doesn't matter how much somebody tells him that it's not right. I mean, it's just his personal feeling. And, you know, like I said, this child, he is naturally just very loving. He always helps out. You know, he's always playing with his little sisters and stuff. So they won't feel left out of stuff. And this is literally having an impact on his everyday life.
Yeah, and the principal didn't seem to care about that when I mentioned it is affecting him physically, mentally, probably honestly even emotionally.
Yeah, it's affecting him.
No, it's affecting me financially because I swear I have to buy him new shoes every week because that kid won't quit tearing up his shoes.
Yeah, there's a lot to bullying that people don't stop and think about. My suggestion for the shoes is, if you know for a fact that that other kid has destroyed them, and you go to get him a new pair of shoes, get a copy of it and submit it to the school for financial reimbursement. I mean, I'm not saying that they will, but it's just another thing that is on the record. Because with bullying, a lot of it is just having the documentation.
Yeah, well, I have screenshots of emails and to the teacher and to the superintendent, and apparently that's not doing me any good.
No, it's not.
I mean,
That's why you're
it might in court one day, but
yeah, we will start looking at, I mean, I already have a list of, different things that can be filed against the school, to hold them accountable, for the stuff that they let going on. Because on the enrollment forms, it's in fine print, so a lot of parents don't actually see it, but the school takes on the, um, well-being of a child for themselves. Like, it's not only just the school system, like the school district and stuff, but it's each individual teacher that can actually have charges brung up against them for neglect. There's like a long ass list of stuff that can be brung up, and the school has insurance. That's the thing. The school has insurance. So, yeah, they might be able to pay out like $2 million or whatever. But it's the each individual teacher, the staff, other parents that have been there and witnessed and didn't say, hey, don't do that. Anything like that, you can take on a civil case against each individual. And that affects their careers. It affects a lot of things. So then they start taking shit serious. So I will, print out that list later of the different things that you can hold the school and each individual teacher accountable for. And even if you start something and they fix it and you don't go through with it, it's still on the record of being against that school or that teacher. So if they ever do go and file for a different job or something like that, I mean, it will show up.
you okay,
Poor
bud?
baby. But yeah, like when it starts affecting
Are you
the
done?
at home behavior, especially when there has never been any at home behavior, um, it can it can be damaging, and not just to the child but to the whole family unit.
I think he. Let's see.
What irritated me the most, though, was I emailed the superintendent Wednesday around 1. I was waiting on the dealership to change my oil, and the kids were at school, so I had a few minutes to myself. So I emailed the superintendent, and instead of him reaching out to me, he called the principal, and she called me into the principal's office as if I was the one in trouble. I find that funny. But we were talking, and she said, she's taking care of it. She's monitoring. Nothing else should be happening. Well, guess what happened today? He got punched twice in the stomach, and he told the teacher, like a good boy, and the teacher didn't do anything about it. So he took matters into his own head, and he hit that kid twice, and that kid started crying. Well, when I picked him up, he told me this. And as soon as he told me, he said, Mama, that boy punched me 2 times in the stomach today. I was driving. I started crying. And then he said, but I punched him back 2 times and I made him cry. Then I just started laughing with happy tears and told him he wasn't in trouble, that if the school tried to get him in trouble, that he just sits his little butt in that chair and says, I'm not talking to you until my mama gets here. Call my mom.
Yep,
Because I'm not going to let them sit there and punish my kid for protecting himself when they won't do anything to protect him.
exactly. And you need to keep doing that. Like, if they call you into the principal's office, little man, if they call you in there, you
Uh-huh.
have the right to stay silent. And they don't expect little kids to know about the whole right to silence and stuff like that, but you do not have to say anything other than call my mom. That's it. Do not agree to anything. Do not accept any type of punishment. You simply
We're
just tell them
done
to call your
With
mom. And that's it. That's the only thing you have to say until your mama gets there.
Okay.
But I am
That's
very
what I
proud
told
of
him.
you for standing up for yourself. It's long overdue, little bud. It's long overdue.
Daddy told him the other day. He told him Wednesday, actually, because I was so mad about what the principal had said. So I called his daddy. He's also a semi driver. And I told him, and he said, wow, okay. So then I had my phone Bluetooth to the car, and we were driving. And he said, son, since the school won't do anything about it, you double up your fists and you knock that kid's lights out. You don't worry about getting in trouble with the school.
Exactly.
And sure enough, he fought back today. So daddy's supposed to be getting him ice cream.
Well, I've been posting the Cash App here to give him a pizza party this weekend.
Yeah,
Um,
he's been wanting pizza, but gotta wait till daddy gets paid.
yeah, well, I posted the Cash App in the chat. If anybody wants to help out, I mean, we're not looking for um, high dollar pizzas or anything. His aunt works at a pizza place, like literally the cheapest pizzas in town. But if anybody wants to donate a couple of dollars or whatever to help get him his pizza party, I will be doing that on Sunday. That way, I think it's supposed to be pretty that day. We can just grab a couple of pizzas and go out to the park and let the kids go fishing or something. Because he's also got 4 sisters. Um, so if anyone wants to do that, that would be like awesome. But he needs to be rewarded, and not for the fact that he hit back, but for the fact that he stood his ground finally, and because of the simple fact that he has not resorted to violence this whole time, this whole school year. He has not resorted to violence. He has tried to walk away. He has told adults at school that should have taken it serious. He's told his parents. He's told me. There's other people that he has told in order to try to get help. And that right there takes a lot of courage, because this child is being raised to know that he has a voice. He's not going to be one of those that just bottles it up and, later reacts as an adult. He knows that people stand with him. And it's hard. I mean, it's hard just being a kid these days. Just imagine what it's like when all this other stuff is going on.
I just remembered another incident. It happened on the playground. Bentley was swinging, and this kid pushed him out of the swing and punched him in his back. Well, he went and told the teachers. I don't know the teacher because they switch, but um, he went and told the teacher, and teacher did nothing about it. And no, this was different. She called that other kid over and got on to the other kid, made him sit out for a minute. Well, when he was free, he started chasing my son around, trying to hit him again for title telling. And when my kid ran past the teacher yelling, "Help me, please help me," the teacher just said, "Go play." And I brought that up to the principal, and she's like, "Well, maybe she thought they were just playing or something like that." And I was sitting there thinking, if a kid is crying and running, asking for help, then obviously they're not playing.
No, they're not. You need to find out which teacher was on the playground at that time, because that is straight up neglect, and it's also against the school's policy. So you need
See,
to
I've
find out which teacher it was, because he got hit and then he got chased and was going to be hit again for trying to seek help.
I've tried to get them to pull like the video surveillance or to find out which teacher was on the playground so I could have a chat with him. They won't cooperate with me. And when I brought that incident up to the principal, because I let her have it all from the very first day of school to uh, Thursday when I got called into the principal's office. I let her have it. I didn't hold anything back. And she said, "Well, I know which kid you're talking about, and he always has a mean expression even when he's playing. So maybe they were just playing. They learn through social play."
See,
Well,
that's victim blaming, and yeah, just straight up not doing their job.
so I'm gonna go ahead, even though I really don't want to, gonna let him finish out this last like 8 weeks at school, and then I'm homeschooling my kids through Epic.
That's the safest choice. And I mean, not even just for that, but I mean, there's so much stuff going on with schools nowadays. It's really just not safe to send kids. It's really not. Like mine do the homeschooling, and there is nothing that's going to make me put them back into public school at all. And Sarah is saying what's supposed to happen is if a call is made to the principal about a child getting hurt at recess, the recess monitors are supposed to be informed to keep a watchful eye on the child. And you see, that's part of the problem. This mom is having to go and talk to all these individual teachers and stuff because the principal is not doing it. Like, they're not holding any in-school meetings with all these teachers that's involved the cafeteria people. Nothing. They're literally hiding out their teachers so that this mother cannot speak to them, and then they're denying it, victim blaming, and saying, kids will be kids. Exactly. There's no reason to ignore this, and that's exactly what they're doing. And it's not like they're trying to prevent the school from looking bad, because when we started doing the whole bullying thing, when that teacher was bullying the other kid and I was making it public,
Okay, go.
the first thing that I had done was make a Facebook post for the town. And there is teachers and ex-teachers and, students past and present in that group. And I literally had like 130 30 people commenting, talking about abuse that they were receiving within this school, how the school didn't do anything for them. I had ex teachers commenting, literally saying that they quit teaching at that school because they were noticing that things wasn't getting handled properly and they didn't want to be part of it. To me, I feel like those are the teachers that should have stayed and actually, made a difference, but I see their whole side. And this school has one, two, three, four, five, six different buildings associated to their school district. And they do have a policy that they will send aggressive children to another school district that's literally just like 10 minutes away. And then when you get these little junior high and kindergarteners and stuff that are bullies, the school won't even issue them or send them to the other school that literally has more programs for children who are bullies and stuff.
Okay.
So they're not taking it serious at all. But I'm going to print off the protective order papers.
No, stop.
Oh, and wasn't there an incident in the lunch line where the cafeteria lady or whatever said that it didn't happen, or
Yeah.
or they wasn't going to ask her or something? I remember something about it.
Yeah, he got pushed in the lunch line. Like, the kid turned around and had pushed him back, and the lunch lady said, "Don't do that. You need to be nice." And I brought that up to the principal the other day as well, and she said, "Well, Miss, the teacher did mention it to the principal, and the principal literally just said, it was an accident. He didn't mean to. He just turned around and bumped him in the nose."
That's not an accident.
Yeah.
But at least that one, the cafeteria lady, at least they did speak up about it. So, I mean, if it comes down to taking it to court, you can have that one subpoenaed to testify that it was reported and that nothing was done. So that would be literally somebody within their own school district that would be required to testify against them. That right there would go a long ways.
I believe that the cafeteria is like camera recorded. I think the whole building is actually.
Yep, it is.
But they can't ever find anything on the playground. There's cameras on the side of the building that can reach out a good ways. I'm sure if they would go through the footage, they could get proof.
They can. I know exactly where those cameras are located at all the schools in that district. And unless they've recently been moved. But some of their school policy that they actually have up on their school website is the use of the cameras. You have to sign a piece of paper when you're enrolling them, stating that you agree to have your child recorded while at school. So there is literally maybe I'm not exactly sure about his school, but I know at the other school where that kid was being bullied, there's 3 blind spots through the whole school, the school ground, the walkways to go to the next buildings and everything.
The whole campus?
Yeah, there is only 3 blind spots, and they're like tiny blind spots. It's just, a few feet until another camera picks up. So I'm figuring that it's probably the same way at his school. There's no reason that they can't give you the recording. I know that with the other kid, they said that they couldn't hand the parents recordings because it does have other minor children and stuff involved, and I totally get that. But if we press it through a court system, they have to turn over that video footage.
But yeah.
But yeah, um, I am personally very, very proud of him for standing his ground now.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's long overdue.
I'm just worried about this, like, changing my sweet boy. I don't want him to be one of those violent people that take guns to school or
bullets.
you know.
Or bullets.
Oh yeah, this kid has also brought bullets to school too. Like,
Oh, it's the same kid?
yeah, it's that one kid I was telling you about.
Oh, I mean, I remember you telling me about the bullets being brung to school, but I was thinking it was like the bully's little friend that was like showing him or something like that. I didn't know it was the actual bully that brung them.
Wait, I got one more. No, it was Will Bundit. He's not a boy to me.
Okay. Say, because did they ever do anything with the child that brung the bullets to the school?
No, he told me that the teacher made him put it back in his bag.
That is so messed up. On
If
so
that
many
was if that was my kid, he would have been expelled.
exactly.
Mr. Man.
But then again, my kid also knows not to touch his daddy's guns or anything like that.
Yeah. I know that back when my son was like in, I want to say like fifth grade or so, he has collected knives and all kinds of blades since he was like 4 years old. And he had just gotten one, I think for his birthday or Christmas or something. So he took it to school and he never opened it at all. He just showed one of his little friends on the bus, like the cover and stuff to the knife, and that was like a huge issue. They didn't take it away from him or anything because they knew my son, but I mean, it was still, got the whole lecture on you can't take weapons to school and blah blah blah. So for them to just say put it back in your bag, that's wrong on so many levels. And Kaz says that she volunteered in the school canteen for years, and youngest started getting bullied. The bully started on her little girl right in front of her, and one of her peers nudged her and said that that's her mom. So, peers do stick up for the bullies. You can very seldom find somebody to stand up for the one being bullied, but the one that is the bully, they have all these kids around them telling them, when to watch out or what's going on. It's crazy. And that's we're at, Cass, here in the UK. And then the fun room says, I moved when one of my daughters was getting bullied. I did not wait around for the school system to get their act together. I felt it was better to remove her than risk more psychological damage. That's the same. Yeah, Kaz is in Australia. But
See, I would do that, but I literally just bought a house in June and I'm not trying to move.
yeah, there's like no other school district that will accept transfers at this late in the school year. That's another problem that we face here, which is really weird because when a school here gets a transfer student, they get more funding they they get an average of like $7,000 more for a transfer than they do for somebody that's already in their district. And there is no place to transfer them to. But I was going to suggest something, which is what we had literally just got done for this other kid. Um, hey, Caroline, how are you? On her plan that the school is working with, they have one class that is together. And so they have set up a safety plan to where a para will follow the bully around and sit in the class with them while they have that 1 hour class together. Maybe that is something that we can look into and have it written up in a plan for a para to follow, not your kid, because he shouldn't be punished in any way for being bullied, but maybe they can follow the bully around. And if the school says, oh no, that's not possible, then we can show this paper, this plan for the other student within their school district that has that same thing. So we can be like, yes, this is possible. So maybe that is something that we can do to ensure his safety.
Well, I know they don't really like allowing people like that. Like, um, if the kid's deaf, then they'll allow the, uh, and I guess it'd be interpreter
Yeah.
to go. But for like behavior issues, just that one-on-one type of thing, they won't allow.
Yeah,
Like
but
my youngin had,
they may not allow it, and they may straight up tell you no. But at least that's another suggestion that you will have documented of you trying to get the school to cooperate, and the para that's going to be following that other little bully around is somebody that actually works at the school. I don't know if it'll be like the counselor or a teacher assistant or whatever, but they actually work at the school. So they're just going to have them set in that 1 hour class that they have together. So, I mean, this is something that is being implemented within the school district. They
yeah,
can say no, but at least you would still have the documentation of trying to get them to do it.
yeah, I hear you on that, but I feel like he would have a hard time getting someone to do that because uh, the teacher is supposedly, his classroom is supposedly monitoring him and this other kid. She's told the music teacher, the PE teacher, wherever he goes during the day, um, to like keep an eye on him, a very close eye on my kid, as if he's the one that's being the bullying. Um, the principal knows. I've talked to the counselor one on one. She said she'd keep a close eye. It's all he said. She said stuff. They're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. And this school is notorious for victim blaming and victim shaming. Um, so the fact that they're trying to keep a close eye on your little guy is putting it over into the victim blaming category of some sense, because otherwise they would be keeping an eye on the bully to make sure that he doesn't do it to other kids as well. If they're just, closely monitoring your child, that's, I mean, it's good in a way. I mean, might ensure, his safety at some point, but at the same time, it's like with the other kid, instead of her not being able to go to the cafeteria since she is the victim, she gets to go to the cafeteria and the bully has to go to the homeroom or whatever to eat his lunch. So maybe we can get something like that done too, to where yours can still go to the cafeteria or whatever, but there's distance and that child will be fed in a different classroom or something like that. Yeah, Caroline, this little guy, he is like super amazing. He's so kind and caring and loving and just all around a perfect little human being. And the bullying to that's been going on all year long without the school trying to prevent it is changing his at-home behavior and different things like that, which I mean, for the most part, he's still, super sweet and kind and caring and loving and helpful and all that. But his self-esteem, his aggression level, he's slipping on that because he can't, and it's like all being internalized. And now it's just going to be about finding healthy ways for him to relieve that anger and hopefully keep him safe. That's amazing, Kaz. It really is. Being there and letting other people or other kids know that, they can trust you and that you being a voice for them and stuff too. I love hearing stuff like that. We don't even, here at this school, we don't even have like parents that come in, and they used to have long time ago like the school parties where the parents could come and sit with their kids for like Valentine's Day, Christmas parties or whatever. And for the most part, they've been doing pretty much everything they can to keep parents from participating in school activities like that. So schools around here, they are really trying to hide their shit.
Well, I've just come to the conclusion where my three that are in public school right now are going to be put into Epic. And my daughter turns 4 in April, so she will be doing Epic as well. I'm really worried about her and the baby. The baby has autism, and my 4-year-old, she's so tiny. She's 28 pounds, and she's wearing 24-month clothing. So if they're allowing kindergartners to get bullied, imagine the really tiny ones in the, I guess, disabled would be the correct term.
Yeah. They're allowing all types of bullying and stuff to go on. And before we used to see basically just the racial bullying. That was the one thing that was really big in these school districts around here. But now, I guess because they've gotten away with that kind of bullying and profiling and stuff for so long, they don't care about any other kind. Oh, that's awesome. The fun room. When my kids was going up to the public school, which is the same school district, I used to always take them in like little veggie trays and stuff like that, for their snacks and stuff. And there was a lot of kids that couldn't take their daily snacks and stuff. So like my son's teacher, his special ed class and stuff, they would literally call me and tell me if a kid didn't bring a snack. And I was actually able to do something, but I don't even think they allow stuff like that nowadays. I mean, they have the snacks and stuff that you send when your child is like the leader or whatever, but as far as like a parent going and sitting there at snack time, or, I used to go sometimes and eat lunch with my kids. I'd have to pay for my, it was like $2 for my little lunch plate, or I could take a sandwich or whatever, but they don't even allow that anymore.
Yeah, I can't even do that. I can't even take my kids lunch. Like if it's their birthday and they want to eat Burger King for lunch or something, I can't even do that.
You see, and that's closing down transparency within the school district. Like, it's crazy because if you're trusting them with your kids and stuff on a daily basis, you should be able to like go in and audit their classroom, or you should be able to go in and see what meal that they're having for lunch, or they schools used to always promote families, and now they're literally trying to tear families apart.
Wow. I touching it, not breaking it.
I'm not even allowed to go to like their little Valentine parties or
Wow.
whatever. I pretty much sending my kids to prison. I dropped them off at 8. I picked them up at 3.
Yep, that's exactly what it's related to. And I get it in like the bigger cities and stuff where you do have more gun violence and gangs and stuff like that, but this is literally just a tiny little country school.
Whoa, whoa,
Back
whoa,
when
whoa,
my older kids was going to school, one of the teachers used to ride a horse to work. Like literally, he lived maybe like a mile away from the school, and he would ride a horse to work. That's how tiny the school is, even though it does have different buildings and stuff up.
Make the boy. You want to be the snake the boy and I be the snake girl? Hang on, what's the carry him and
I was listening to the little kid conversation. I love hearing little kids talk.
Sorry, all 5 of them think they have to be up my butt.
Oh, that's good. It's no problem. Um, Everybody around here always has kids and stuff, and you know, my dog is usually the biggest kid I have that tries to be vocal when I'm on a live, and then my cat just tries to ban people. So this channel is totally
wait,
family friendly.
where's your homework?
But okay, so the next step after the superintendent will be the school board. I will look and
Oh, she's
see
on the pool.
when they're going to have their next meeting, and I don't expect you to attend with all the kids and stuff. I can probably just go to it and raise this concern up to them for you, because we already know if the superintendent isn't being told about all the bullying and stuff, then the school board definitely is not. So I will be bringing the awareness to them, and then I will print you off the paperwork for the protective order. No guarantee that a judge will actually issue it, but it will give you more access to some of the video and stuff of him being bullied. So even if the judge doesn't issue the order, it will still further it and bring awareness to it. And then if this continues, I will take it to the DOJ, which is the Department of Justice, and I will give them the link to this live of you explaining everything in an attempt to hold the school more accountable. Which I sent the live from the other student being bullied to them. So I already have direct line with one of the investigators that worked there. But I'm trying to find out when the next meeting is, and then I will definitely go there.
Do you think it would be? Give me your opinion on every time he comes home and he tells me, like for today, he told me that kid punched him twice. He told the teacher. Teacher wouldn't do nothing, so he went and took matters into his own hands. What do you think would happen if I messaged the superintendent over every little bullying incident?
I would.
Because
Um,
Thursday, when I was there, the principal looked me dead in the eye and said, uh, I don't know why you feel like we're not taking care of this. We're monitoring the situations every day since you brought it up to our attention. So she pretty much told me, I don't know why you're doing this.
yeah, they like to put things off. They don't want to have any accountability or anything for it. I would, I would, I would even take it up another level, and I would do a small video as far as him saying what you know what the bully did that day. Just record him on a really short video. I mean, like under 60 seconds. That way, it doesn't degrade the video, and then attach the video to your email to him. That way, you're not only keeping the documentation line open, but you are also giving video proof, which is data proof of, of the incidents. And keep it to where you're doing it like the same time every single day. Like if you do it at 4 o'clock, then the next day send a report back at 4 o'clock. Make that your designated time. It's the little details like that that actually help. Um, if you're just random with the emails, like one day at 1 day at 6 p.m. or whatever, they can get overlooked. But if you start a habit of doing it at the same time every day, it kind of starts being expected. I'm looking here at the school board meetings for April. It will be 6:30 p.m. on April 11th, and it will be held at the superintendent's office. So I will be able to go to that meeting. But they've already had the one for March. They do grow up so fast, Caroline. They really do. But they're always our babies, no matter what.
I can't promise you though, if he ever comes home with a bruise, I'm gonna be fighting that parent.
Oh, I feel you. I mean, just because we send our kids to school does not mean that we are still not responsible for their behavior. So if that parent or if that bully does do something drastic to him, the parents can be held responsible for it. Just because they're out of our supervision does not mean that we are not legally responsible for their actions until they're 18. You can also have the principal do a meeting with the parent or parents of that child. Because I mean the parents may not know. They may not know. Their kid may not be going home and being like, oh, well, I bullied someone today. And obviously, the school is not taking it serious enough to really reach out to the parents. So, requesting a meeting with the parents would also be a really good step.
What I want to know though is how did this teacher know this other kid that I was talking about if I didn't mention the kid's name?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I said, there's this little boy in his class. I didn't give no names.
Well, I mean, he has told the teachers and stuff before. So the teachers have probably talked to the principal, but that just proves that there is some communication going on about the situation, which further proves that they're not doing anything about it. You see, Sarah, that's always where my mind goes. Like I say 1,000 times on here, I see both sides to it. I really and truly do. It's like even with the other kid that was being bullied, I offered to send the school some resources and stuff to pass on to that child, on where to report, like domestic abuse or child abuse or SA abuse, different kinds of things that would have benefited that child because we never know what's going on behind closed doors. And every time I hear a situation about somebody being bullied or whatever, I mean, I really feel for that kid that is being bullied. And I will do anything I can to bring awareness to it and get protection for that child. But I also see the other side of it because they mimic everything that they see, and especially the 5 year old. There is no baby in kindergarten that is going to wake up and just one day want to be a bully.
Like you.
I'm thinking that, there should be investigations into that child's home and stuff too. But I mean, there's really nothing that we could do about it. It would have to be something that the school would handle. But I don't even think the school is capable of even thinking of things like that.
I asked the teacher respectively, I was like, does this kid have any like known disabilities? Like maybe they have autism or, something like that. And she said, no, he's just a normal little kid. So then that right there is what made me, well, okay, well, it's bullying.
Mommy, look,
You're right. Maybe he is bullied at home or something, and he's just taking it out on my kid.
Yeah, because Sarah was onto that about the abuse at home, and Kaz is agreeing because bullying is a learned behavior, as Kaz is saying. People don't just wake up and be like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna go and do this today." People in their right mind don't consider stuff like that. They think about learning something new or going to work or planning dinner, just the logical little things in life. We don't just, well, I'm going to go shoot up a school. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that leads up to that. It it's wild, it's crazy, and nobody is taking this shit serious. I'm still trying to get one of my coworkers to come on and talk about her story because the teacher that is bullying her kid is the same teacher that my son absolutely loved. And uh, even after he had stopped that school and went into homeschool, he needed a little bit of help readjusting. And they got that teacher from this school to set in on a couple of his homeschooling meetings to where he would feel more accepted and, um, he knew that she was still a part of it. Like that's how good this teacher was. But now this teacher is bullying this other student so damn bad that another teacher had left her classroom and was going to go like to the office or bathroom or something and literally stuck her head in and told that teacher to stop her shit. Like it was that bad. And I'm trying to get my coworker to come on and talk about that because it's not only kids bullying kids, it's teachers bullying kids as well in the school district.
Are you sure it's the same teacher and not someone with the same name?
Yeah, it's the same teacher. Um, she's been there for quite a while, and just to make sure that it was the same teacher, because at first she wasn't mentioning like the name of the teacher or even what class it was happening in. She was just getting phone calls from her kid at school saying that the teacher was bullying him again and stuff. And then a little bit later on, like a month or so down the line, she mentioned the teacher's name. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, what does she look like? And she told me, I mean, it's the same teacher. Plus, she's also had that teacher on the phone with her while we were both at work, and she put her on speaker, and I verified her voice. So yes, it is definitely the same teacher, and it's to the point that some of the teachers at that school are actually trying to get her to retire at the end of this year. So teachers see this stuff. That's why I don't understand why the teachers are not standing up for every child.
I mean, I get it. The teachers have other students that they have to look out for too. But after being told all that by the principal, makes me just think they're turning their heads.
Yeah, I totally get that. And yes, the fun room. I have looked at a couple of things on there. I'm going to be more active over there on your channel and stuff as well. Things have just been like super crazy the past couple of days, and I haven't had a chance to like really go chat hopping and stuff. Not even on my normal everyday chat hops, but I will definitely and uh, I'll be posting your link to anybody that has channels. Um, can have their links dropped and stuff over here. It's all about spreading the love and the awareness and community and supporting each other. But yeah, I think we have our work cut out for us with this, especially with him being so young. And he has a powerful voice, but the process of doing this for him and getting him to the point to where he can use his voice, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. And I don't feel that at 5 years old or in kindergarten, he's older than five, but in kindergarten, this is a way to teach him to use his voice and not only for himself, but for others. If he sees other kids being bullied and stuff, because some kids don't have a voice, they've had it taken away from them for many different reasons. And it takes strong little people like him that can make a huge difference in somebody else's life. So, yeah, him standing up for himself, that makes me happy. Maybe it'll show other children that they can do the same.
He talks about, he'll tell you everything that happens, but he will literally start breaking down. He gets maybe 5 words out of his mouth and he starts crying. I mean, we were talking to the teacher too, and she saw that. And she had her door open that leads to outside, and the wind blew it and slammed it. And he literally jumped out of his seat and got under his desk and started crying at the parents' meeting. And asked him what was wrong, and he said, "That's where I got my finger smashed."
Yeah,
So,
because I mean, from what I have seen from him, he's not one that's going to back down. The fact that he hasn't taken the steps to fight back, it shows a lot about his own character, his own love, and like his own sentiment that he has for life itself. But I mean, he finally got to the point of fighting back. Hey Mars, good to have you here. And I encourage that for further issues. And Mars, we're just talking about this kid being bullied. The principal literally told his mom that it's just like social learning, that in kindergarten they don't know what bullying is. And I mean, it was bad enough before that, and we've been talking for a while about doing a live, but that one statement right there, that irked me on all different kinds of levels. School is great for victim blaming and victim shaming. And little dude, one of the people here in the chat, I know you can hear me.
he's
She said,
not here.
"Oh, he's not okay. Well, you can tell him later." She says, "Sweet little man, I wish you all the best wishes and respect for you. Much love." And exactly, Mars. Kindergartners do know what bullying is. They may not have the terminology for it. Some do, some don't. But if a child is being picked on and hit and kicked and having their shoes stomped on, hair pulled, they know that's not right. They know exactly that something bad is happening. They don't have to have the actual name for it. I mean, it's just like with any illness. You know, you are sick and you don't know what's wrong with you, but you know you're sick. Once you go to the doctor, they can tell you what is wrong with you. They can give it a name. And the school is literally just like, oh no, he's too little to know. No, he's not.
My autistic 2-year-old can tell me, "Hit me," and she'll do her best to like point and tell me. So, I mean, a 2-year-old kind of knows.
Exactly.
Why
Children
can't
know.
5, 6-year-olds know the definition?
Yeah, and Mars is agreeing. She's like, exactly. Kindergartners definitely can be bullies, and especially if they have lived in a home that allows them to be bullies. That's the whole thing. But what we're not really sure as with this Mars is we don't even know if the parents know that their child is being bullied or is being a bully. The only thing that we know is the school says that they will handle it, which they don't. And
Clearly.
we don't know if this other family is being called to the school. And when she has requested like a group meeting and stuff, with the other parents, nothing happens. Like they just won't do it. Misty Rose is saying they sure do know how to bully. One grabbed my daughter's head at story time, shoved her head into his private areas, then told her to be quiet. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, I mean that right there is sexual abuse. And if the teachers and stuff didn't do anything about it, they should be held accountable for it too. Yes, Mars. she's his mom. Yeah, exactly, Misty, exactly. The principal said boys will be boys. That that is one sentence that, oh my god, it sets me on fire. No, boys will not just be boys. Girls will not just be girls either. You know, this principal told his mom um, that it's just social learning. And yes, he did say that. They specifically straight. That's why I titled this video, this live, the way I did. He's just in kindergarten. He doesn't know what bullying is. And then at the meeting, they said that it's just social learning. So the school is trying to do everything in their power to just erase the fact that this is happening.
Well, one thing the school doesn't know is I won't back down.
No, you got a community standing behind you now. Um, there was one child that I was working with in okay, over there where your husband works, I won't say the school district, but there in that school district where he works, there is a mother and a father both that come to me. And when I called the school and I told them that I was going to do a live about it and call out their school, and that I would have all of my subscribers plus other channel subscribers emailing the school as a stance to show that that child was not alone, they eventually, like 3 or 4 days later, they expelled that student and sent him to another school. Like they completely removed him from that school. So I know for a fact that giving people a voice and having a whole community behind them, it does make a huge difference. Yeah, and Mars, we're not really looking at the attorney thing because of the simple fact I can file the paperwork. Um, I've translated in courts and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I have translated enough over like the past 28 years or so in court systems. And I'm pretty much, I won't say friends with the police department and stuff, but like we all know each other by name. Same with the DA's office and the court clerks and stuff like that. So I have filed papers on behalf of other people before, and I was able to kind of represent them in court, and it totally cuts down on attorney fees and stuff. So that's what I'm going to be looking at with this, trying to get a protective order in place against that other child. And they do, Misty. They think it is funny. They I've seen teachers and even janitors and stuff like that sitting back and just laughing. You know, people getting tripped in the hallway or something like that and being laughed at for falling. And it does start at home. It really does. And that's why I always see the other side to like literally everything that's brought to my attention. Um, I never really, I guess you could say, take sides, but I see both sides. And I really want to be able to help the child that is being the bully as well, you know, but I know that those parents and stuff, they're not going to come on and talk. They're they just won't. They want to keep everything covered up.
Yeah, another thing the principal told me was uh, kindergartners are really clumsy. They're gonna fall, and when they fall, they may accidentally push the kid in front of them or whatever. I'm like, I said, well, this kid didn't accidentally punch my son twice in the stomach.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This school is like super bad about victim blaming and victim shaming and throwing out excuses. Like, you don't even know how many excuses that I have heard. Um, One parent that was talking to me in the same school district um, said that her child, it was a little girl, had been stabbed in the hand and the arm with a pencil after the bullying had been going on. And I I'll have to look back at my notes later to be for sure, so don't quote me on this, but I'm believing it's second grade. And the teacher said it was an accident. The other kid got mad and just kind of slammed their hand down on the desk, and they had the pencil in it, and therefore the lead went into that child's hand. And then when I called up there and I asked them about it, they kind of gave me the same runaround about it. And I'm like, so, okay, let's just say that the first incident was an accident. Then are you trying to tell me that picking the pencil back up and stabbing it in their arm was also an accident? And then they went into the, oh, well, we didn't know anything about that, and the whole 9 yards. But the parent literally wrote out a statement and has showed me the statement that they had turned over to the school stating that their child was stabbed in the hand and then stabbed in the arm with the pencil. So schools do a lot of shit to cover up crap.
Hang on.
Wants to watch
Exactly, Kaz. Parents can do their part to stop the bullying. Most kids, every kid I know always tries to push the limits. But it just depends on how you react to it. If you encourage it, they're going to keep going. If you rein it in, they're going to stop. Yeah, Seymour is like, none of this is an accident. None of it. None of these bullying things that have sprung to the channel. None of them are accidents. None of them are mistakes. It's repeated behavior. Oh, the little ones. If you need to go, that's fine. I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything. But I'm gonna drop the Cash App one more time. If anyone wants to help with getting this little guy and of course his baby sister's um, pizza party, then put my Cash App, and I will be doing this on Sunday for them at the park. I will make sure everybody knows how it goes and stuff like that if there is any donations for it. But I think that this child needs, a little bit of some fun, a little pizza party, which is what he's been wanting for a while. Just to show him that he has people standing with him. He's not alone. Everything, it takes a village to raise children. Like, I've lived by that, like, my whole life. See, that's how my children are, Mars. They've always used their voices to stand up for others or for each other. None of my kids have ever really had to deal with something on their own. If something happened at school, they would literally come home and tell me that it happened at school. But I honestly never really had to do anything about it because one of their siblings had already handled it at school. And luckily, their siblings didn't get in trouble for it. But they had stuff set up amongst themselves, and they would handle it, and then come and tell me that they handled it. Oh, that's fine, Mars. I'm not dropping the Cash App like begging for money or anything. Like literally, he's going to get his little pizza party on Sunday, one way or another. It's just if anybody can put in a little bit, then that's highly appreciated. And if not, he's still going to end up getting it. Exactly. It comes from home. It comes from home. The way I raised my children to be a voice and stand up for others and stand up for themselves and stuff like that is the same things that these other parents are not teaching their children. Just it's a horrible situation on every side of it. Not just this kid that's being bullied, but for the one that is the bully. Like I know that there's so much more going on in their life, and I'm not able to address that. I'm not able to help give that family resources and stuff. But maybe they'll come across this, and if they ever do, if anybody has a child that is being a bully, I have resources and places that you can talk to on how to get your child back in line and you know work through underlying issues and stuff like that. Like I have resources for both sides. Whenever I start a topic, I don't just do the one-sided thing. Every resource and everything that I give out on this channel can work for both sides of whatever it is. But I'm going to go to that teacher or the Board of Education meeting. I think it's on April 11th. I still have it pulled up on another tab. And I'm going to talk to them and just see what they're doing about the whole bullying thing. She's got it listed as Mamasaurus for her name up here. But Mars is saying, I wish you the very best with this problem. That I hope Never Silent keeps us
I'm
updated
thinking
on how
like
the
what's
little
it
man is doing.
called?
I will be keeping everybody updated. Whenever I start something, um, I usually do give updates, even if it's just something quick at the beginning of another video or something. But, this child deserves to be safe at school, as does every other child. But hopefully, with bringing awareness to this and stuff, it will give this mother another place that it has been documented, and it can be for things that happen further on down the line. Do you have anything else that you want to say before we close down here?
I don't think so. I'd literally replay everything they've said and he said in my head. I think I've told y'all everything.
Yeah, that's good. And later on, if anything happens more, we can always come back on and document it this way. Even if it is just like a 5-minute video or something that we upload. That way you'll have links and stuff that you can turn over to prosecutors or whatever if it comes to that. Um, just make sure to document everything and do reach out to the superintendent every single day, even if it's just a message saying nothing happened today. But make sure that he doesn't forget who you are and who your child is. And I'll print you off some of the protective order papers and a couple of other things, the DOJ information and stuff where you can file. That way you'll have that on hand as well. Okay. But I think my daughter's here, so I have to close down. And thank you for being a voice for him. And like I said, if anybody needs any resources for any type of bullying or anything, you can email me.
Somebody just
My email is on the page. And that way, maybe we can bring awareness to others. But
All right.
I'm gonna go visit with you in the. I have her in another room while she's on this live, so I'm gonna go and visit with them for a little bit too before they leave. And I will talk to everybody later. Thank you for being here. Much love.
Yeah, see you.